He was born without a name, without rights, without a future. The Roman Empire was a machine, powerful, ruthless, efficient. But like every machine, it ran on gears, and the lowest, most broken gears were slaves. In the year 17 AD, during the rule of Emperor Marcus Aurelius, a boy was born in a Numidian village in what is now modern-day Algeria. His mother was taken by Roman slavers. His father was speared through the chest. The child, barely old enough to walk, was dragged away in chains. His name would be given to him later, Lucius. Not out of kindness, but to mock the freedom he'd never have. Raised in a Roman household as property, Lucius learned to clean, serve, and survive. His masters would say he had sharp eyes and a silent temper, but they never saw what boiled underneath. A fire so hot it could burn down Rome. Lucius watched emperors pass, watched generals feast, watched gladiators die, and every night he whispered to himself the same words. One day, I will sit above them all. At age 12, Lucius was sold to a gladiator school in Capua, not as a fighter, as a feeder. A stable boy for beasts, tigers, leopards, bears, animals starved and tortured for sport. The trainer, a retired gladiator named Gaius Maximus, saw something in Lucius. Not fear, but restraint. You don't flinch when they roar, Gaius said. That's either foolish or fearless. Lucius answered quietly, they are chained. I am chained. They are not the monsters. Gaius laughed for a long time. Then he stopped and nodded. From that day, Gaius taught Lucius more than food and chains. He taught him how men fight, how they bleed, how they win. Not with strength, but with understanding. Every fighter, Gaius said, has a rhythm. Break it, and you break the man. Lucius never fought in the arena, but he learned to move through it. Invisible, listening, memorizing. He studied the nobles who came to watch. The senators, the generals, their gestures, their pride, their flaws. It wasn't the animals that interested him anymore. It was the powerful men who caged them. By age 18, Lucius had grown tall, muscular from lifting cages, quiet from years of watching. When a provincial governor visited the school, Lucius was ordered to serve wine. The governor's son, drunk and bored, threw the goblet in his face. Lucius did not flinch. Gaius stepped forward, but the governor raised a hand. Let the boy speak. Lucius said nothing. Nothing? The governor asked, amused. Are you mute or just stupid? Lucius finally replied, neither, but wise enough to know that lions don't argue with jackals. The laughter that followed echoed through the stone halls. By nightfall, Lucius was gone, sold again, but this time, not as a servant, as a gift, to the imperial court. Rome, the heart of the empire, a city of gold and ash, of parades and poison. Lucius was now property of the emperor's niece, Lady Marcia, known for her beauty and cunning. She requested Lucius personally, not for bed nor labor, but as her silent guardian. She trusted no one, except the boy who watched but never spoke. In the imperial court, Lucius became a shadow, always present, always listening. He saw whispers traded like daggers. He watched as powerful men destroyed each other with smiles. Lady Marcia taught him politics, diplomacy, seduction. But Lucius never laughed, never relaxed. He absorbed everything. One night, she asked, "Do you dream of freedom?" Lucius answered, "No." She raised an eyebrow. "Then what do you dream of?" You looked at her, not with fire, but ice. In 1920 AD, Emperor Commodus, son of Marcus Aurelius, grew mad with power. He named months after himself, declared himself a god, fought in the arena. Rome trembled, senators whispered of rebellion, plots stirred in the shadows. Lady Marcia became a key conspirator. She whispered secrets into Commodus's ear by day and poison into goblets by night. Lucius was her courier, her blade, her mirror. But he saw what others didn't. Commodus didn't fear senators. He didn't fear soldiers. He feared being forgotten. So Lucius crafted a different poison, a letter. Anonymous, left in the emperor's chamber. They laughed behind your back. Even her. The next day, Lady Marcia was executed. Lucius, he knelt in mourning and was spared. Commodus made him a personal bodyguard. I trust you, the mad emperor said. Lucius smiled for the first time. Commodus's madness peaked. He renamed Rome Colonia Commodiana. He declared every citizen his slave. He prepared a ceremony to crown himself as a living god. Lucius knew the time had come. On the eve of the ceremony, a plan formed. A servant slipped poison into the emperor's wine, but it failed. Commodus vomited and raged. He turned to Lucius. Someone wants me dead. Lucius didn't blink. Many do, but only one can succeed. That night, as the emperor bathed, Lucius entered quietly. No words, only a cord. The emperor's body was found the next morning. Rome awoke to freedom and chaos. With Commodus dead, the Senate scrambled. Generals marched. Civil war brewed. But a strange thing happened. Lucius was not executed, nor banished. He was promoted. By one general, then another. Within months, he became a liaison, then an advisor. Then, shockingly, a senator himself. Some protested. A former slave? Impossible. But others whispered, he ended Commodus. He saved us. Power feared the void. Lucius became the bridge. Lucius learned quickly that the Senate was just another arena. Backstabbing, favor trading, public applause for private betrayals. He thrived. He backed one general, then betrayed him at the right time. Aligned with another, then stole his funding. Soon, he was no longer just a senator. He was the man behind multiple puppet leaders. He never raised his voice, never showed rage, but senators began to disappear, and Lucius remained unscathed. In 1970 AD, Septimius Severus seized control of Rome. A brutal warrior from Africa himself, he saw Lucius not as a rival, but as a brother. Severus declared Lucius Praetorian Prefect, head of the emperor's guard. Whispers said Lucius had finally gained his throne. He had power, soldiers, laws, and still, no one knew his real name. Lucius grew older, but Rome never stopped devouring. A younger rival emerged, Cassanius, the son of a noble, brash, handsome, popular. He accused Lucius of overstepping, of plotting a coup. Severus listened. Lucius was summoned. In the imperial court, Cassanius made his case. He spoke of letters, of spies, of plans. Lucius said nothing. At the end, Severus looked at his old friend. Do you deny it? Lucius replied calmly. If I wanted your throne, you wouldn't be asking. Severus paused. Then, he laughed. Cassianus was executed that evening. Though Severus ruled in name, many decisions bore Lucius's fingerprints. He restructured the grain supply. We formed military pay, removed corrupt governors. The people cheered Severus, left the Senate feared Lucius. They called him the hidden emperor. But Lucius never wore a crown, never sat on the throne. Why? Because he knew the truth. Crowns invite blades. Butler never wore a crown. On his deathbed, Severus whispered, you should have ruled. You had more wisdom than all of Rome. Lucius smiled. No, I had more patience. After Severus's death, civil war returned. Lucius, now old, retired quietly. No titles, no mansion, just a small villa outside the city. He died years later, unnamed in the records, buried in a grave marked only by a lion's paw. Today, historians debate whether Lucius truly existed. Some say he was a myth, others a warning. But scraps of records remain, letters unsigned, orders delivered, policies rewritten. And in the margins of one forgotten scroll, the slave who rose not by sword, but by silence. He never ruled officially, but he bent the empire with his will, and no one saw it coming. We remember emperors who wore crowns. We forget those who shaped empires from the shadows. Lucius was never meant to rise, but in a world of brutality, he became a new kind of power. He proved that you don't need bloodline to rule, just silence, timing, and an unbreakable mind. So the next time you hear of Roman emperors, remember the one who never claimed the title, but controlled the throne all the same.